Hey guys, back again with another video, a movie-related video. Haven't done one of these in a while. Someone commented on one of my videos asking if I was going to do a movie-related video again, and you know what? With the release of Blade Runner 2049, I thought it was a good time to do a video on a movie. I guess this is going to be kind of like a mini review, but the main purpose of this video is to just try to get people to go see this movie. Basically, this movie is not doing too well at the box office. It's not like a huge failure, but it has a budget of like close to $200 million, and it's made like only a fraction of that. And I'm not terribly surprised. The original Blade Runner is a cult movie. That movie, when it first came out back in 1982, it wasn't a commercial success. It really didn't make a lot of money. People just did not go out and see it, and it didn't even review particularly well. It wasn't until years after that it kind of started to get this following, and now it's considered to be a landmark film in the sci-fi genre, and it's had like a huge influence on later movies and just sci-fi in general, especially with that movie's aesthetic and world building. Huge influence. It's not a movie that I would consider one of my favorites of all time, but I really do enjoy it. I've seen it multiple times. The director's cut is definitely the one you want to see. So yeah, it's this cult movie that I'm honestly kind of surprised has even gotten a sequel, and it could have easily ended up being a disaster, like so many remakes and sequels that come out these days. It could have so easily been a failure, and if Ridley Scott directed this, I have no doubt in my mind that it wouldn't be very good. I mean, we just got the new Alien movie from him and Prometheus before that, which had completely failed to live up to the original Alien. So yeah, but as soon as I knew who the director of this new Blade Runner was, I immediately knew that this was going to be amazing, because this is directed by, and I might pronounce this wrong because he's a French-Canadian from Quebec. Denis Villeneuve. I am pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong, but I want to talk about him for a little bit, because this guy is one of the most exciting directors working in movies today. I don't think he's yet to make a bad film. In fact, the only film I would say that he's done that's not very good is this very first one, which I actually the name is escaping me at the moment, but. I didn't care for it that much. You can very much tell it was like a first film of his. He started off doing like French only films, and then eventually he moved on to English language films with Prisoners. I wouldn't consider Prisoners his first like actual movie, but his first amazing movie was this movie called Incendies, which was a really fantastic movie that I would definitely recommend people go and seek out. But yeah, so before Blade Runner, he did Prisoners, which is a fucking awesome, like, really just dark kind of crime drama, sort of. It was really excellent. I really enjoyed it. Like, one of Hugh Jackman's like best performances is in that movie. He did this little film called Enemy, which was actually filmed in Toronto. The first time I saw it, I liked it, but the ending really put me off. I've seen it again since, and I've actually grown to appreciate it more, even though I still can't say I'm a massive fan of the ending. I do wish that film had a different ending, because the lead up to it is fantastic. A great sense of mystery, and then the atmosphere is just incredible in that movie. And then he did Sicario, which is a phenomenal movie, very much a slow burn kind of film. But it asks a lot of tough questions, and it's not an easy movie to watch, but it's incredibly well made, and I really did enjoy it quite a bit. It was one of my favorite movies of the year that came out. And then he did Arrival last year, which was an excellent sci-fi movie. It was what I wish Interstellar was. Interstellar is like one of the most disappointing movies ever to me. Like, that movie was just such a bummer. With the way it ended, but Arrival, was an excellent movie, and it gave me faith that this new Blade Runner was going to be good. I knew that this guy, he's going to understand. He understands what was good about the original Blade Runner. He's obviously a fan, and he'll do it justice. And you know what? Not only did he do it justice, he was able to improve upon the original. expand and improve upon the original. Yeah, Blade Runner 2049 is better than the original. I watched the original again just to make sure. And yeah, I still do enjoy the original movie, but I think this is a far better film. And it's one of those films I can't wait to see again. I think you'll get more out of it every time you see it, because there's a lot to take in. There's a lot of layers here. This isn't a simple movie. It's absolutely incredible, and I'll try to get into the reasons why. Spoiler-free review, obviously, because the point of this review is to hopefully make people want to go out and see it. That's the purpose of this video. It is so depressing that this is not making more money than it should, because this is like filmmaking at its best to me. Like, this is the power of filmmaking, to really make you think about a bunch of different powerful themes and messages, and basically creating like this amazing sci-fi dystopian world that you just feel like you're a part of when you're watching the movie. You just get so sucked in with the film's atmosphere and world building. And when a movie is able to do that to you, and to really make you basically immerse you in its world, like, it's just such a great feeling. And throughout this entire movie, I was just transported to this world. I just, like, everything I was seeing on screen was so intriguing. And so mysterious, and the actual storyline here is incredibly, it is very interesting, and the way it expands upon the original themes, the original movie's themes, is fantastic. You still get that amazing dystopian world from the first film, where from the outside, when you get like these city shots of like these flying cars moving throughout the city, you get like really a lot of like high-tech atmosphere and like images with these like neon signs everywhere, everything all lit up, and it looks like very everything looks just very advanced. But then when you actually start to get into the nitty-gritty of things, you start to kind of get into the city itself. It's really like depressing and worn down. You see like these apartment complexes where it's just graffiti everywhere, and it's like this really cool mix of like old decrepit like buildings and things like that, but mixed with like all this high-tech inventions and all that stuff. It's like this really cool aesthetic, and the cinematography in this movie is phenomenal. It's Roger Deakins doing the cinematography, and this guy's never won like an Academy Award or anything like that, and it's just a crime, because man, like, this movie just looks gorgeous. Like the film's use of colors, the different environments in it. It's not just like the standard city environments. There's a certain set piece moment later in the film having to do with water that I don't really want to spoil, but it's absolutely breathtaking to look at. And the action scenes themselves that are in this movie, there's not too many, but there definitely are some. They're really well choreographed and very inventive. But I will say Blade Runner 2049 is not a movie for people looking for like explosions every 5 seconds and just like, action scene after action scene. This is a movie with a lot on its mind, a lot of themes and messages, and it's basically a neo-noir detective story, like with the first movie. They didn't try to make this mainstream sequel, this mainstream blockbuster sequel. I mean, yes, it's got the massive budget, and you can tell because the film is just amazing to look at. But it's a very story-driven film. It takes its time with its characters and its character development. The dialogue is excellent as well. It's a very slow-paced movie. Yes, it's near 3 hours long, but it's not boring whatsoever. It's totally engrossing from start to finish. And these characters are just so well realized. And the new characters added within the Blade Runner universe are phenomenal. Ryan Gosling is a really... gives like an amazing performance as this Blade Runner. It's really tough to talk about the story with this movie because it's so easy to spoil things. But the general plot of this movie is that Ryan Gosling is this Blade Runner, and he is one of the one of the replicants, but not one of the old replicants, which they're trying to retire. So he's a newer model of replicants that basically are made to obey, and he gets wrapped up into this series of events. That's all I want to say. I really would not want to spoil the actual story of this film, but the directions it goes in are always fascinating. It's not the most complex storyline, but there's a lot more going on than in the previous movie, and this takes place 30 years after the original. And obviously, with all the trailers and even the poster you see here in the video, obviously Harrison Ford is in the movie, his character Deckard from the original. And that's one of the things that it fucking sucks that it got spoiled to so many people, and it was revealed in the trailers. Really disappointing because his reveal and the way his character plays into that story is really well done, and it would have been a nice surprise to actually get to the later part of the movie where he turns up. But the actual storyline in this movie is very fascinating. This movie is very bleak. It's very depressing, and in a lot of ways, I almost think it's almost like a horror movie. There's a lot of horrific stuff in this movie, a lot of really unsettling scenes, especially one with Jared Leto's character midway through the movie. That it was very uncomfortable and very, very unsettling. So yeah, there's a lot of horror-esque elements to this movie, and there's a lot of sadness to it as well. It's an emotional movie. It gets you emotional too at different points. There's a certain relationship that Ryan Gosling has with this other character. Again, something I don't really want to spoil, but it's incredibly well done, and I really liked the arc of that relationship. And there's just there's just so much to chew on with this movie. There's so much to think about, and I'm sure repeat viewings are going to be very interesting. You'll get a lot more out of this movie the more you watch it. The atmosphere is incredible, like I mentioned before. It's just like the world building is in this movie is just phenomenal. A lot of cool sci-fi concepts. This is the kind of sci-fi I love. This sci-fi that's big on ideas and big on character development and mystery. It's so compelling. And I loved it, man. I fucking loved this movie. It's weird. I'm gushing about this movie so much. I don't know if I liked it more than it's probably my second favorite movie of the year so far. I think Get Out I probably preferred a little more. That movie really kind of blew me away, but I didn't do a video on that one because that movie actually made a ton of money. But Blade Runner 2049, it's this phenomenal movie, probably the best sci-fi movie in years. Probably my favorite since Cloud Atlas, I would say, which a lot of people hated that movie. I actually really liked it. I thought it was incredibly ambitious. It was flawed, but I just admired the ambition of that movie so much. But this is the best sci-fi movie I've seen in years. This is the best sequel. I can't even remember the last time a sequel was this good. It's up there with The Godfather Part 2 for me. Just the way it expands upon the themes of the original. I feel like it's got the slow pace of the original. It respects the original in every way. It doesn't ruin anything, and it completely understands what was special about the original. But I feel like the actual plot here, there's more to it, and I just think the filmmaking craft here is I think there's just more filmmaking craft to this movie. I still do really enjoy the original, but this did it for me a little more. I think this appealed to me a lot more. The performances across the board are amazing. Harrison Ford, it's the most vital he's been in years. He actually gives a very good performance. One of the antagonists in the movie, I don't really want to spoil, is really good. I had some amazing scenes with that particular character. I know it sucks that I'm kind of I'm almost talking in riddles here about a lot of this stuff, but I really don't want to spoil a lot of what happens in the plot because there's a lot of cool surprises in this movie. It's enough throwbacks in there to the original without being just constant references. And it's, it's its own thing. It's not beholden to the original in any way. It's, man, like, this is how you do it. This is how you do a sequel, a follow-up to like a well-loved movie. And yeah, Denis Villeneuve, he's yet to make a bad film. This is his best movie yet. And one of the best directors working in movies today. Honestly, he might be the best, like, new-ish director. Like, I don't know. Anytime this guy does a movie, I'm gonna be there day one. And yeah, such a shame that a movie this amazing, this, like, is not making money. But I mean, I'll be honest. Like, it's not a mainstream movie. It's not gonna appeal to a mainstream audience. A lot of people are gonna watch this and be like, "Oh, this is boring. There's too much dialogue," and that kind of shit. But I don't know. Like, to me, this is like filmmaking at its best. Like, and it's, I hate going to the movie theaters. This is like a kind of a secret about me. I just find them to be very uncomfortable, and it was an uncomfortable experience for me. But at the same time, I saw it in IMAX, and it just, like, the visuals to this movie were just so astounding that I didn't care that my back and my neck were hurting, and it's just, it's watching this movie, I was just like, this, I hate being in theaters, but I just, like, I'm so glad I went and watched this. And I hope I can get some people to go out and see this movie. It deserves to make, like, far more money than it's been making, and yeah, it's just, wow. I was completely blown away by this movie. What did you guys end up getting to see this? What did you guys think about this? I know it's been getting really good reviews. There are some people that don't like it. I'll never. I don't know how to, like, I don't know. I guess, like, if you're more into like fast-paced, like, kind of action movies, or like sci-fi isn't your thing, maybe then it's not worth seeing. But I don't know. I just had such a great time with this movie that I feel like I had to do a video. I had to get the word out there. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just depressing to see all these fucking superhero movies, these creatively bankrupt, endless parade of boring superhero movies constantly make money, and then something like this comes out, like this amazing experience, and it bombs. Like, I don't know, it's so depressing to me. But anyways, I've gone on long enough. That's it, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.